Damn it. I'm not sure if it's registering. What's up? Can y'all hear me out there loud and clear? Just testing the mic here. Let me know that you hear me loud and clear out there. All right. Okay. Apparently I have a problem with this. How do I fix this now? All right. I'm not sure quite how to fix it. All right, listen, fight fans, what's up, guys? We're just gonna stream on the YouTube. Apparently, we're just gonna go like this. We're gonna break down this Teofimo Lopez post-fight interview. And we're gonna really break down everything that he says in this interview. And I'm gonna give you my assessment on what I believe as we let the interview play out. And I want to hear your reactions on it. Um, I wasn't even gonna come on today, but once I saw this interview right here with Teofimo Lopez, I had to address it because wow, wow, Tio said a lot in this interview. So without further ado, let's break down everything that he said and let's go over the video. I'm gonna play it for you. Shouts out to Fight Hub. They're the ones that got the footage on this. And we're gonna play his post fight interview. And as he talks, we're gonna break it down. So let's hear from the horse's mouth, shall we? Here we go. And let me know that you can hear this. All right. As you come in, let me know that you can hear this. What's up, Frontline? How you doing, brother? Hey, yo, Frontline, can you let me know if you hear the Teofimo Lopez's interview loud and clear as I play it? All right, here we go. Can y'all hear that?
Hey, like Muhammad Ali says, the will got to be stronger than the skills. Today wasn't about skills. Today was about will strength. Cause I knew the type of fighter I was fighting. This guy's a triathlon athlete, for crying out loud. Conditioning.
He said, this guy is a triathlon athlete. He's saying that this guy has, cardio for days. That's what he's saying. Okay.
It's impeccable. And me with asthma, shit, I'm grateful. Look at that, key of the city.
And me with asthma. And me with asthma, meaning he's already given you an excuse of his cardio. He's already telling you the reason why I might have gassed out a little bit in this fight and it had to go on to 12-round decision. I got asthma, right? Okay, let's let the man talk.
Yes, sir. Key of the city.
Key to the city.
We go
Hit
anywhere,
it city
whenever.
to
What
Miami.
you guys got for me? Any questions?
Tio, were you surprised by his durability, his ability to take a shot and keep coming?
No, I was not surprised at all. I know what type of fighter I chose. Oh my gosh, like I really do this. I really does this. I know what kind of fights I'm gonna get myself into. I like tough fights. Tough fights bring.
He said, I know the fights I've chose. I love the tough fights. This is the fight that he chose. Not that they gave him to him. Not that it was in a ranked opponent. Out of his mouth, he chose this fight.
The best out of me. Look, the most punches I ever had and landed in any of my punch count in career. Like that's amazing. I'm telling you, man, that's amazing.
He's giving the guy credit now from punching the most he's ever been in, punching him the most in the face he's ever been in any boxing match throughout his career. Now he's giving credit to the guy for punching him in the face the most. Hold up, Tio. I thought you were in the sport where the number one rule was to hit without being hit. You get credit throughout your career for getting hit the less, not the most. Then you come out and give credit to your opponent that hit you the most to try to flip it on you when they say, hey, Tio, this guy hit you the most. Tio already saying, I already gave him credit. He's trying to minimize, what this guy did to him and what he couldn't avoid or stop the guy from doing. By admitting to it, he's trying to get in front of it. You understand what he's doing? Let's let the man talk.
Amazing. I'm proud of myself just for that. I don't care how my face look. Fuck it. It's a fight.
Tio, you stunned him with a nice uppercut in the 8th round. Did you feel like you had him hurt in that moment?
I had him hurt the whole time. After that, I just, the whole thing is really just picking shots and then just working on other things, God does everything for a reason. There's no mistakes. I know I hurt him bad. No one has hurt him like that in a long time. So, we still got the punch power. We still got everything there. The whole thing now is just going back to the drawing board.
Let's talk about that. He said, I hurt him. I know I hurt him the whole time. Then he goes to talk about his punching power. The punching power is still there. You couldn't put him away. You had to justify that you had him hurt. But you also clarify that you couldn't put him away. Then you had to talk about your punching power. He's like trying to minimize everything this guy did by accepting the things he didn't do well in the fight. Tio is trying to do that reverse psychology where I guess somebody in his media really prepped him for questions and he knows how to address things now more to try to always look at what he's trying to do is say always look at the bright side of things, right? But in doing so, what he's doing is contradicting himself out of his performance, what he did, everything. Check it out.
And working a lot more on my slipping.
He's someone who has fought at 154 before.
Yeah.
And he was pressuring you a lot. Did his size at all bother you?
No, size did not bother me. The moment my father, my coach, and trainer told me to push him back, the game changed. It changed completely. He was trying to fight that back, and it's all about pushing and pressuring them back. You got to fight the fight sometimes, and that's what we did. I listened to my father much more this time than I ever have in a while. So, it's great. It's great communication.
He said, I listened to my father much more than I ever have. That it's great communication, meaning you're admitting that in previous fights, you weren't listening to your father, which is your coach. So essentially what you're saying is you weren't listening to your coach. And because of the fact that in this fight in particular, you started listening to your coach, your dad, right? That you started to frame out and push him off. And essentially, that's what changed the outcome in the fight for you. And you started winning the fight, according to you. So at some point in the fight, he was admitting that things weren't going his way. He said as soon as he started listening to his coach, his father, is when he felt like he started to turn it around, which means and indicates he knew that he was in for a fight, that this guy was giving him a fight.
And we just sticking and moving and just looking for another fight.
Tio, it was really,
I don't want to give this to nobody.
it was a fight.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Sorry, the mic is
Too much energy.
Yeah, right. was really pressure.
I think this is
versus
the
power.
thing though. Like fighters like to look pretty and shit, but like this is a fight for a reason. Like look at this shit. I don't care. As long as I go and do my thing.
You've been promoted as Brooklyn being your hometown. You fought New York a
You
few
don't care
times.
that
I know
another
you
man
have
did
ties
that to
to
your
Miami
face?
as well.
Well,
Is it you have two homes or how does that work?
The world is my home. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you gain the world with the people. You don't gain the people with the world. So, you know, I think.
Get the fuck out of here. He's from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. And now he's claiming Miami. They gave him the key to the city, and homeboy checked him on that and was like, yo, ain't you from New York, man? Right? There's people here from Miami that would love that key to the city. They giving it to you. And Tio's like, oh, everywhere's my home. Blah, blah, blah. Yo, just to sell a fight.
That overall, it's just the people in my essence. Everywhere we go, we take over. That's Miami
my
take over, New
essence.
York
You're
take
not
over.
even using
But
the word
remind you
correctly.
guys, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a Brooklyn-born Broward kid. I started my boxing here at 6 years old in South Florida. So to come back here after 9 years, defending my world titles in front of so many people that love me, hate me, whatever you want to call it, I'm very grateful, you know. So I just like everyone
There he goes
to
again.
just accept me for being their champion.
Rejecting
That's it.
whether people love or hate him.
Congratulations on a very exciting fight against a tough, rugged opponent.
Yeah.
What makes you choose such tough opponents, man, when everybody's trying to protect their own?
The Lord, man, the Lord. I gotta give it to him. You know, I'm someone that likes to test myself, challenge myself. You guys didn't know about Claggett, but I freaking knew him for sure. I knew that it was gonna be a condition fight. And the will, like I said, Muhammad Ali said it best. I think it was him. The will gotta be stronger than the skill, and that's what we showed tonight. We pushed him back. We fought the grunt. If I was tired, I knew he was more tired because I worked very hard for this. He's never been 12 rounds before, so we knew we had to break him down.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're not getting by this one, Tio. What did he just say? Hold up. 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 Hold up.
In the skill, and that's what we showed tonight. We pushed him back. We fought the grunt. If I was tired, I knew he was more tired because I worked very hard for this. He's never been 12 rounds before, so we
He's never been 12 rounds
knew
before.
we had to break him down. Body shots were hurting him.
He's never been 12 rounds before. But hold up. I thought you said that you knew you picked him because it was going to be one of your toughest fights. That you knew that he was going to take you the distance. That you don't care the way your face looks because you was in for a war. And then you admit you knew he had never been 12 rounds before. So this was you wanted to drag him out 2 extra rounds into deep water to try to win this fight. So first of all, you said you picked the toughest fights. So you picked a guy that has no 12-round experience. That's what you picked. And then you claim to be the toughest fights. But you're telling on yourself. You picked a guy with no 12-round experience, and you admit that you knew that. But yet the guy that has no 12-round experience did that to your face, and all of a sudden you want to let the world know that you're okay with it. You're okay with the fact that he made you look like Spock from Star Trek. You're okay with it. Look at that man. He looks like Spock from Star Trek. Like, beam me up, Scotty. Yo, for real. And then he's going to try to sell you that Claggett was his toughest fight, and he knew that going into this. This is what brings the best out in him because he picks the toughest fights that a guy that never went 12 rounds. Let's hear that just one more time. What did you say, Teofimo Lopez? Hold on, I gotta hear it.
We pushed him back. We fought the grunt. If I was tired, I knew he was more tired because I worked very hard for this. He's never been 12 rounds before, so we knew we had to break him down. Body shots were hurting him. But this is what it's all about, fighting the best, because in case of any opportunity that comes around like that, any other fighter that wants to press me like that, we know how to face that. We know how to get used to that. You know, these other guys don't like to face those type of calibrated fighters. They like to just, you know, face easy fights.
What type of statement?
Now, he's gonna judge the entire division on the way he fights and the opponents that he fights. That according to Teofimo Lopez, if you're not fighting this kind of opponent, then you're not fighting anybody. He's going to try to sell it to you like Klajic was this top tier number one opponent that mysteriously never went 12 rounds in his professional career. He's going to try to sell you the reason why he had a lasting performance. And although Teo was sharp and he was slick in the fight, he was doing some boxing because Teo did win the fight, right? And let's see how far by wide of a margin Teo felt he won the fight. Let's let him talk on.
This type of fight, and you not ducking or dodging any of these fighters, say to the rest of the divisions here.
It says I don't care. I don't like. It says that I don't care. I'm here to fight. Like, let's make a fight happen. I don't care how I look. My hand is gonna get raised at the end of it all. I don't care. Like, as long as I get back to my kid safe and sound. This is the fight game. You know, this is what we signed for. You know, and I. Excuse me, but I needed that. I needed this.
Yes, this is the fight game. You're supposed to not let the other guy punch you in the face and turn you into Spock. Yeah, but yet Teo is letting the world know that it's okay. It's okay that the other guy punches you that many times, and the most you ever been punched in your career in the face by a guy that's never been 12 rounds. That is not a number one ranked opponent. Okay? But according to Teo, he picks the toughest fights.
A lot, you know, and for everybody else, you know, whether it's 47, 40, you know, Bob said I did well. He don't look too happy. Fuck it, I don't care. Like, I'm your only last star available, and that's it. You know, so you just gotta deal with it. You know what I mean? You gotta deal with it. I am the best, forget the rest.
Teo, when it went to the scorecards, how did you score it in your mind? Do you think you did enough?
Absolutely. Sugar Ray Leonard, he taught us the best. And once you hear those 10 seconds, clack, clack, you throw a lot of freaking punches. You know what I'm saying? That's how you win the rounds. 12 rounds to nothing, 11 to 1. Look at that. No matter.
12 rounds to nothing, 11 to 1 is what Teofimo Lopez and the judges are saying. Teofimo Lopez is saying that his dominance in the fight, right? But hold up, Teo. Didn't you say when you started listening to your dad and you started framing out, that's when you started winning the fight? Which means that apparently you were doing something wrong because you had to listen to your father for advice to switch up in the fight. You're admitting that you knew you were getting outboxed in the fight. Now you speak of your dominance, right? You kind of sound like Bam Bam trying to get that Notre Dame's trophy. He ain't going to get it because he didn't call the right thing. Just like you, Teo, are not going to convince the fans that you had this unanimous, like dominant performance. You see? Teofimo Lopez is trying to like so badly sell and convince the fans that somehow this guy was tough, but that he was dominant. It's okay that he got punched in the face, but he still has his power. Which way are you going with this? You know, let's let Teo talk as Bam Bam types over here trying to plead his case for his Notre Dame's trophy that he obviously did not win. Let's hear Teo excuse like my man's excuses over here. Let's stay tuned.
No matter how much pressure it was around, we dominated because we knew it. We know how to do it. We studied the primetime fighters. I studied the fighters that came from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, not the modern day era. The modern day era, everybody thinks Jake Paul is a great champion. Like, come on now. It's crazy.
You know, before the
You
fight,
are in the
you
modern
called
day
out
era.
Pitbull Cruz. They
Yeah.
have similar styles. Do you still want that fight?
Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. I'm ready for it, man. I'm excited. Now I know how to face fighters like that even better, on a better standpoint. You know what I mean? Just more conditioning, more track work, and that's it. You know, I think this gives everybody a more opportunity to jump that gun. But let's see how they do once we start clacking them up. So
Tio,
that's
it seemed like when you were on your toes off the jab, you made the fight a little bit easier for yourself.
Yep.
Why did you decide to stay in the ropes? Is it just that fighting spirit you wanted to trade with him in those moments?
Yeah, it's just in those pocket moments, let him throw, let him miss, let him, whatever it is in the case that I meant, like in that essence, just touching that body, trying to find those open shots right in there, and then those uppercuts, man. Those things were catching him like crazy. So I think overall, I like to try different things. It might not be always what I need to do. Maybe I just need to go and stick and move. You know what I mean? But hey, this is what I love to do.
He's explaining why he found his back up against the rope all night. And he's explaining that because now he's selling it to you because he wanted to try new things. Maybe now he thinks he should stick and move more, but that the reason why he was up against the ropes is because he was trying new things, and this guy was testing him. Tio has an excuse for everything and for everything he did wrong in the fight. I commend him for trying to, you know, m- minimize damage control, right? But in boxing, it's a no bullshit sport. It's either you're that guy, you're tough enough, or you're not, right? So it's worse for me when you try to cover up your bullshit rather being a man about it and stepping up to the plate and admitting that this guy was a lot tougher than I thought. You can also give the guy his flowers, talk about your performance, right? And talk about how you're going to continue to grow in the sport. It would have been better if he came out straightforward and explained himself in a manner which he addresses exactly what the people saw. Gio, you fought a guy that wasn't even ranked in the ranking system. And according to your words, you picked him. You picked him. You see? Then you're coming out talking about, look at my face. It's okay that I look like this. He bubbled me the fuck up. In a sport that you used to brag about, look at my face. Look how clean I look. I came in the fight pretty and I'm leaving pretty. Right? All of a sudden, you're giving them praises for whooping your ass. Then you're admitting at some point in the fight, you were obviously losing control. Why? You started to pay attention to your coaches, which in your own words started saying, that's when I started to put it back together, which means he was giving you problems. Then you claim this is why you picked this fight, because these are the best fights, and he knew who Klajic was. So since he was so dangerous, this is why I picked him. Right? According to the judges, now let me talk about my dominance. 12-12, 11-12. Look how dominant I was. This guy wasn't on my level, but yet, still giving him credit for making him look like that. Which way is he going with this? That's why it would have been better off for him just to come out and answer these questions in a more straightforward manner. Look, this guy was tough, you know. We all knew what this was for Tio. None of us really wanted this fight. This was supposed to be the type of fight where he went in there against a medium tough kind of guy and knocked him out. Instead, what he got was a fucking fight on his hands. That's what happened. And Tio was left coming out with trying to explain his way through this one again. Once again, here we are with Tio giving us an explanation of how the fight occurred, and he's and telling us this is, look, it seems to be a pattern with the Teofimo Lopez fight now, where that he finds himself explaining himself after every fight. There's is no more. What happened to the days of the Teofimo Lopez of the old, where he would come out of the fight out of a knockout? He'd be doing the Fortnite dance, doing the backflip. When's the last time we've seen that Tio? And for anybody to say that Tio hasn't really fought anybody good or well? When was Teal's last great performance? I think people do forget he just beat a while back Josh Taylor. And he won that fight pretty good, pretty impressive. Teal started doing the Fortnite dance in front of him. I knew Josh Taylor was in trouble, but I didn't see that Teal on that his last fight against Klajic. I didn't see Teal dancing. He didn't have time to dance. He had this guy in front of him, kept pushing him. Teal did not know how to spin him. Teal did not know and didn't recognize to go to the body when he was in close on him. There was a lot of holes in Teal's fight game plan and his defense. Apparently, Klajic left that fight not looking too bad. And look at Teal's both eyes. Look at him. He's right there. You know what I mean? So it's just that, listen, I think that this interview, in fact, made Teal look a lot worse. I think it makes Teal look like kind of like a desperate fighter. He has to come out of the fight and tell you the story about how the fight played out in his view and how you should be looking at the fight rather than letting his performance speak for itself. You know, when men go in there like Tank Davis, he knocked the shit out of Frank the Ghost Martin. Is there anything else to talk about, left to talk about? Does Tank Davis got to explain anything? No. On to the next one. There's my body of work. This is what I do to them. But yet, Teofimo Lopez has no problem calling out Tank Davis or even much bigger prize, much bigger target, Terrence Bud Crawford. And Teofimo Lopez, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want none of that smoke if it has some bud in it. You do not want that smoke. All right. He's over here campaigning, talk about Terrence Crawford is looking slow, whatever. Homeboy, you are going to 12-round decisions in your last fights. Terrence Crawford is like on a 10-fight knockout streak. You're comparing yourself to one of the greatest fighters, roughly in our generation, for the U.S. And you're saying that he lost his step. If fighters like that, they age like fine wine. Sometimes when fighters lose a step, what they gain is much more in boxing experience. They know how to get to the target, they know exactly where to stand, how to position, and that you cannot buy. That kind of experience. And as he goes out through his career, Terrence Crawford knows how to make adjustments, even in his fighting style. Teofimo Lopez, he's searching for that big fight, that massive payday. And he seems to be talking up like he's willing to put it all on the line to fight a man such as Terrence Crawford. But unfortunately, I'm here to pull the curtain behind all of this. And I'm letting you know that Terrence Teofimo Lopez has no plans on fighting Terrence Crawford, just like I have no plans on fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay, Tank Davis is gonna fight me next. If Teofimo Lopez is gonna fight Terrence Crawford, if you believe that, I'm fighting Tank Davis for that 135-pound championship. I don't know how I'm gonna make the weight. I'm 200 pounds. I gotta cut a lot of weight. I gotta get outside and start running right now. Tank, I'm coming for you. You know what I'm saying? If you believe that Teofimo Lopez, because his first lie was I'll fight Terrence Crawford at 147 pounds. Wait a minute, brother. Isn't Terrence Crawford already fighting at 154? So it's obvious he's leaving the 147-pound weight division. He's not going to come back down to 147 once he gets that 154-pound title. The world knows he's in training camp fighting for that August 3 date. You ever notice that Teofimo Lopez starts talking about the big fighters roughly when they got a fight schedule and they're training for a fight? If they know that they're really safe, if that guy can't just say, "Hey, you know what? I'll fight you. Let's make the fight happen." And he can't make the fight happen. He's already fighting for this, right? So you already know he's lying. At 147, T.O., really? At 147. The man's fighting at 154, right? So now, what's he going to do? Sell it to you that he's going to jump up to 154? And then you know he's really full of shit when he avoids all conversation when the reporter comes and says, "Okay, if you can't get Terrence Crawford at 147, would you fight Jerron Boots Ennis?" Nah, Jerron Boots Ennis, he's not that big money. I'm a fighter, pay-per-view fighter, this, that. I don't want Jerron Boots Ennis, Terrence Crawford or nothing. Like, hold up, hold up. We giving you a guy with basically the same skills and, to what's going on, Terrence Crawford is the better fighter between them two. So he's even a lesser version of Terrence Crawford, right? And he has a belt. So why don't you fight him if you're serious about moving up? And that's when you know that a guy is clout chasing and he's trying to attach his name to more superior fighters. Teofimo Lopez has no he that he could never sell that to me. And I would never be foolish enough to entertain that. I know that that's a ploy, 100%. And even if they were to fight, Terrence Crawford would beat the brakes of Teofimo Lopez. It would be a one-sided event. He would beat the shit out of Teofimo Lopez. Yes, he would. For as slick as Tio is, all that slick shit, he wouldn't land any of that slick. He's not going to look like Tio. Terrence Crawford is probably going to read him like the first round or so. After the first round, Terrence Crawford will start opening up a little bit. He'll start switching up the volume of punches. He's going to test his ability right or left. And then by like the fourth round or whatever, Terrence is gonna start opening up. It's gonna get ugly. And then like I think Terrence is on a pace where that he's figured out boxing so well, right? He's figured out the dance. If you do something, he does this, and that's the counter to that. And Terrence will stop Teofimo Lopez. It might be a little late. There's a version I see it stopping mid rounds, but there's another version I see it a little bit late. I think Tio will try to tough it out. He'll tough out the beating, but it's going to be a beating. And Terrence Crawford's the much harder puncher. He's the bigger man too, and he's just as equally as fast as Tio, and if not more creative and fundamentally sound better. At least Terrence Crawford could cut off the ring. I know that for sure. At least Terrence Crawford can figure out shit when you're doing shit in front of him. And at least Terrence Crawford has a fucking boxing game plan. It seems like Teofimo Lopez in his last few fights, I've been noticing a pattern. He's been relying on his fucking like God given ability. Like he has natural talent, and it seems like he's been banking on his natural talent. He's been living kind of like this thing in his. I don't know if he actually does live like this, right? But like Bruce Lee, let nature take its course type shit, and he doesn't seem to have a boxing game plan for any of these fights lately. It seemed like he had a kind of a boxing game plan in the beginning. Well, I always chalked it to being green and inexperienced. So I never really like questioned that. But by this far in his career, it is evident he didn't have a game plan for this fight. He didn't have a game plan for the Jermaine Ortiz fight. He didn't have a game plan for none of these fights, man. He kind of just like stands in front of you and he just thinks, he's really talented, but he doesn't he's not working on anything. Theo is sporadic, you know. He does like try to like figure some of his opponent's movements, Um, but it doesn't seem like he learns from it. The next round, he can come out and he's subject to getting caught with that same punch. Or there'll be an opening the previous round and he'll come out and you could tell he's not making any reads because he doesn't catch it. So Teo's been fighting the majority of these last fights since I've been noticing on pure talent, no game plan. He didn't devise a game plan to fight this guy. He talks about how much he knew his opponent. I didn't underestimate you, meaning I studied you. I don't take you for granted. I picked you for a reason. Why? Because of his toughness. How else would you know how tough this man is if you've never watched him fight? Meaning you have film on him. Meaning you and your coach can come up and devise a game plan to beat this opponent. And at this level in the game, talent is only going to take you so far. You got to go through things. You got to, when Tank Davis comes out, he has a game plan. He pushed Frank the Ghost Martin back. He applied pressure. He tested him in the fight. He took chances. It's like he was like hitting the beehive with the stick, Tank. And he was making Frank the Ghost Martin come out, right? Exhort. That was his game plan. And he a masterclass performance. Tio doesn't have a game plan. He's in there just throwing punches, basically. He had no game plan for Klajic, man. Nothing. Just framing off, pushing, boom, 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 boom. Looking for an opening, boom, throwing a jab every once in a while. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to like counter off of Klajic. Trying to do a lot of volume on him because Klajic was there to be hit. He was only coming forward. And he was always in the high guard. So you gotta switch levels, Tio. You gotta sell some punches to get the one you want. Throw two up top, get in close, come around the guard to deliver. The two up top was a nothing. That's just to get your way in close. Hit him in the side, spin him around. Hit him with that uppercut on the inside, push off. Start working off your jab. Tio did none of this. And that's what I mean. He had no game plan. When you don't got no game plan, you're just reacting basically. And that's what Tio did in this fight. I think Tio's performance in this fight was mediocre. Tried to he's a Latin fighter too. In a sense, I still got some love for Tio, man. He's a good fighter, bro. Right? But I gotta tell it like it is, man. And when I see bullshit, this is why you subscribe to this channel, man. So that I could really let shit be known. I don't like to fucking tear down T.O. for nothing. He's still the WBO champion of the world, the 140-pound champion. In my eyes right now, he's the best 140 pounders in the weight division, not because he's the best by fighting. He's the best by accomplishment. He is the more accomplished 140-pound champion. And in that right, I have to give him that status. It's not because I believe he's the best fighter, okay? Because I think if he tried to do a unification with Liam Paro beats him. I think Liam Paro beats Teal. Yeah, yeah. I think Liam Paro's a little bit better than George Camboza. Yeah. And I think he does. But I can't make Liam Paro the best 140 pounder because of my opinion. Liam Paro technically only has one big mega star, which is Subriel Matias. And Montana Love is not that guy. So by body of work, just by that, Teal's the best 140 pounder champion we have today. Yes. But I don't think he's the best fighter in the weight division. No. No, I think he's going to have some problems. And if Tio doesn't start to develop as a fighter, he's soon gonna get beat. Why Tio can't put together why he's not that guy no more? Because these guys are studying him and they're coming up with game plans into these fights against him. And Tio's of the mindset where like he thinks he's that nice where he can just adapt on the fly. Brother, you better start becoming a professional because it's starting to show. Hey yo, Bam, how you like how I slid that in there? You like that, huh? That was smooth, right? Hey yo, four line, you caught that? Come on, stop playing with me. What's up? Oh shit, dog boxing in the building. How y'all doing? I gotta go back up. I gotta hit this. Y'all listen. For line, yeah, baby. You know it. You called it. Listen, hold up. Let me make sure that TO shit is off. Look, man, guys, let me, I'm gonna read some of your messages, right? Armando, we heard it, we heard it. I made an error. We know what you picked, but you still lost. TOA Cladger with his best punches, front line. Edwin Hart. Yo, with a two-piece combo, you know how I do. Yo, Mm, yo, crazy. Yo, yo, really? Really? You gonna put them side by side? Come on, man. Bud will fucking TO up, guys, and you guys know this. And you guys got to recognize when he's trying to attach his name to a great one. That's all TO's doing. Terrence Crawford's a great one, and he's attaching his name to a great one and trying to sell it like, oh shit, did y'all hear? Tio called out Terrence Crawford. Like Terrence Crawford's fighting at 154, two weight divisions above where Tio's at. But yet he has a fight scheduled. Yo, no sooner that Terrence Crawford gets off that fight with um with Israel, right? Let's see if Tio's like barking up that tree. And is Tio gonna convince you that Terrence Crawford all of a sudden, is gonna go back down to 147 just to fight Teofimo Lopez? I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. On call Scooter, he got you the plug. Ah, y'all crazy. What up, Lewis? In a rematch, Matias is going to rip Liam Pearl's head off and then put Tio in retirement. The guy that Tio fought was small than Listen, Tio didn't have a great performance against this guy, Klajic. And everything that Tio's trying to sell to you about how he picked this guy because it was such a tough fight, how he doesn't care how his face looks because he knew that this was going to be a tough fight. Because that's the reason why I picked him because I only want to fight the top and the best of the best. Okay, this guy is not ranked number one, two, three. This guy has never gone 12 rounds. He has no championship experience. And this guy was supposed to be a tune-up fight for you to get a knockout. Instead, you came out of the fight giving the guy credit for punching you the most time in the face throughout a fight throughout your career. So congratulations to the guy that punched you the most in the face. And you're okay with it. You don't care what they say about your face. You were in a war. This guy was highly skilled. You knew all about him. You wasn't underestimate him, and you knew he's never been 12 rounds. Which is it, Tio? It's just amazing to hear this guy talk. And I'm just like sitting there, like looking at it, like from the outside in, and I'm just like, nah, Tio. Nah, brother. Tio should have just straight up, man. Yo, Klajic was a great opponent. He really tested me tonight. It's gonna allow me to work on some things, and I'll be back stronger than ever. I'm still champion. That's what's important here, and I defended my title again. On to the next. Simple, simple, simple. Rather than open up all these cans of worms of excuses for why he looked, but remember 11, 12, 12, 12. He was dominant. He was dominant. Bubbled the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys watch the fight, go back, watch it again. I encourage you. And really look at what was going on in there and Teal's flaws. And the biggest flaw in Teal's whole fighting style is that he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have any plan for the guy he's fighting. And I've noticed that it's kind of been a pattern for Tio of late. And I'm starting to question if it's always been that way. And I'm gonna have to go back and look at some more of his fights. I want to revisit that Josh Taylor fight. Did he really have a plan for Josh Taylor, or was he like, you know what I mean? You ever play dominoes with somebody that claims they know how to play dominoes, and all they're doing is just matching the pieces? They don't know how to count. They don't know the six. They don't know how to do any of that. They don't know how to force the piece out of your hand to push the dominoes to you. But they claim they know how to play dominoes, and you quickly realize, motherfucker, you're just matching the numbers. That's all you doing. You're just getting lucky. You don't know how to play. There's a difference. You see what I'm saying? And Tio is not. He doesn't have any game plan for these guys. He's just going off pure talent. That's exactly what he's doing. I know what I'm looking at. Yo, you guys are saying some interesting shit and stuff, and you guys are right too. You start to see it. You know, uh, and this has been a thing with Tio, where that out of I think it was like his last 5 fights, all we got after a Teofimo Lopez fight was an explanation on why um he performed that way. Questions and doubts. Do I still have it? That's what's been the theme in the Teofimo Lopez fight. But he's claiming that he's better than all these guys. And look at the guys that he's claiming to be better than. Terrence Crawford, which is on like a 10-fight knockout streak. Tank Davis, what's his knockout streak? I think the only thing that fucks up his knockout streak is Isa Pitbull Cruz. But I know it's high other than that man right there. And these are guys that are knocking people out, fan pleasing fights. They give you their money's worth. Even Bam Bam and Strada fight That fight was way better, man. I wish I would have fucking covered and watched that fight rather than the Teo fight. Kind of kicked myself in the ass. Because had I knew it was going to play out like that, hell yeah, I would have watched that Bam fight. Versus, I would have said, man, I'll catch that Teo fight later. Yeah, because that's what it's becoming. But his claim is that Teo is the best fighter in the world. You know, and that's due in part. Why do we all feel like this? It's because Teo did this, put that on himself. As Teo was coming out throughout his career, these were the things he was saying out of his mouth. I could beat so and so. I could beat so and so. I'm the best. I'm undisputed. I'm this. These are the labels and titles Teofimo Lopez himself put on himself. And now that we're asking him to live up to the expectation that he put on himself, now Teofimo Lopez feels like the fans are attacking him. No, they're not attacking him. They want you to back up what your mouth said. And you're saying that this is the takeover. This is the title you and the name you put on yourself. You came into the ring dressed as a circus clown, fucking ring handler. You did that, Tio. All of these things, all these expectation, you put on yourself. And now you're mad that the people are like, wait a minute, why ain't knocking out everybody? Wait a minute. Why ain't you taking this fight? Wait a minute. Why are you fighting this guy if you're claiming to? It's because you did this to yourself. So Teofimo Lopez has a lot of work to do. And in this sport, you can shit talk and get away with it sometime. But remember, someone's going to have you on camera. And it's real easy to press rewind. And eventually, you're going to have to answer for some of the shit that comes out of your mouth. Now, Subriel Matias was sidetracked. Okay, granted. But I guarantee you, they're going to press rewind on that little comment that you made about Puerto Rican fighters. And at some point, you and Subriel are going to meet. Because at some point, you're both going to need each other. And Teofimo Lopez, on that day, I hope your fighting can back up what your mouth is saying. Let me read some of the comments. Teal will not beat Matias in a stand-up fight. Matias will destroy him, but will get hit a lot as well. Teal is fast and according accurate with his punches, but Matias is strong and yeah. Teal walking into the ring. I'm playing Michael Jackson. Beat it. Bro, if we put Teal in front of Matias, there is going to be a bloodbath. It's not. I'm going to beat Matias. Listen, I don't think Teal hits hard enough to move Matias now at 140. Uh, Teofimo Lopez had punching power at 135. But since he's been in the 140-pound weight division, that punching power seems like it's disappeared. Where that you got Klajic, he didn't even fucking move Klajic really. He stunned him a few times in the fight. Yeah, he stunned him. Okay, but if that's all you're doing to Klajic, now Teal's trying to say that Klajic is like this iron chin fighter. Like this kind of type fighter that normally none of these other guys are going to beat. And I beg to differ. You put Klajic in front of fucking Subriel Matias, good night, Klajic. Subriel Matias will stop Klajic 100%. 100%. He'll stop him. Isa Pitbull Cruz would probably have that would be an amazing fight against Claggett. And I think that um Liam Paro will beat Claggett. So by him, what is Tio trying to say? That none of these other guys is gonna beat Claggett? He's fucking crazy, bro. And I don't think that Teofimo Lopez's punching power isn't quite there, come to think about it. And I don't think that Tio is gonna have enough pop in his shots. Not unless he like really sat down on his punch. Right? If you stand in front of Tio enough, Subir kind of does do that, right? Where that Tio can really load up, right? But the one thing is, right, I did notice, um, uh, Subir Matias has been more mobile. You know, yeah, Liam Paro hit him with some shots, but Subir's volume went down. So the one shots that he was getting and were scoring, but he did make Liam Paro miss a lot more. I did notice that is that he might have worked more on his mobility and kind of like slept on the fact with the hands. I don't know because his punch volume dropped real down in the Liam Paro fight, Sabir Matias, but he was moving pretty well. He was moving all right. Liam Paro was fast. He was catching him. You know, and then Subir was, but he was, but and then when I noticed when he would move and evade shots, he didn't feel like he was in position to throw shots. So the one benefit about him taking those punches was he was still in position. You see? Rather than him evading and not being in position, and Liam Paro was spinning him. And then Subir had to reset. He didn't know how to make slight adjustments. And Subir just relied on his game plan. Don't worry, champ. You're going to break him down. Don't worry, champ. You're going to break him down until the fight got away from him. And it didn't get away from him to the point where we're like, it was just a whitewash. We were nervous when we went to the scorecard, but we still felt like it could have went either way or it could have been a draw. You see? So it wasn't like Liam Paro gave him that kind of ass whooping because that's not what happened. And Subir Matias, it wasn't like he was exposed. No, he lost the fight. He didn't get exposed. It was a when you get exposed, you get dominated. That was a fucking close ass fight. If we're talking about it could have went either way, then which man got exposed? If the fight could have went either way. So that's that just them haters just talking shit about Subriel just to fucking hate and throw around words like, oh, he was exposed and this and that. No, he was not. That's just hate talk. The reality was it was a close fight. And the reality is, I think that if Subriel Matia was to fight Liam Paro again, it would be a different fight. It would be a different fight. I think that Subriel Matias has experience in these situations. He's lost and he came back a lot stronger. And he revenged his only loss. So if he was to get this fight again, it would be on to him to win the fight. It would be a very interesting fight. I would like to see where they hold it. Most likely in Australia. I believe myself that's where it would go down if it was to go down. Or maybe not. Maybe Liam Paro takes a fight in between with someone else. That'll be his big Australian fight. And he'll fight Subir Matias in like Las Vegas or New York City. Some shit like that. I don't think he wants to fight him in New York City. Because that's another Puerto Rico. That would you might as well fight him in Puerto Rico if you're gonna fight him in New York City. Subriel. Because you can't fight him in New York. So it would have to be like shit. I don't think you could fight him in Texas. There's a lot of Puerto Rico. Well, there's a lot of Mexican, but it reaches out there. Yeah, maybe Texas is a little bit more even. Maybe, right? It's richly Latin cultured though. Texas has got a lot of Latin people there though, and they'll support their Latin fighter. I hope, but you definitely couldn't fight Subriel in New York. No, you could fight him in California. Same shit. Las Vegas. Same shit. Um, Florida. Florida's more Cuban. Yeah, Florida will probably be even. Even it'll be all right. You could. Florida's a lot of. There's a lot of Spanish, Puerto Rican people in Florida. It depends what part of Florida you go to, though. That would be probably even, but it would be somewhere around there. But maybe he'll take a fight to fight someone else in Australia, to get him that homecoming fight for Liam Paro, because I think Subriel's gonna have to fight somebody else anyway, and to stay active, Liam Paro's gonna fight somebody, right? So I don't think it's gonna be Subriel. So he'll throw that fight in Australia first, then he'll come back, and hopefully, Subriel Matias can put himself back in a position where that he's back the number one contender, and Liam Paro has to take the fight. That's where you want to put yourself, and that's what kind of position Subriel wants to put himself, and he's going to. He's going to. Some opponents that I thought for Subriel would have been Jukumbai. Jukumbai's coming off that big victory, and I thought that he could fight Jukumbai. I would think that he would fight the Russell. They would give the Russell kid an opponent for Subriel and Russell coming off losses, right? They both need a big win, and whoever the winner of that fight, you know what I'm saying, for Devin Haney's belt, right? Between Sandor Martin, right, and Albert, when whoever wins out of that fights the winner out of Russell and Subriel for the WBC. I mean, that's up to Subriel's management, promotional team, that they, start to see if they can negotiate some of these fights for him right now. I don't know where Subriel's at right now, but I don't think that, you know, riding, running and hiding underneath a rock or feeling bad because you lost is gonna help out your career anymore. The only thing that's going to help out Subriel Matias's career is get back in that ring and get back into the winning side and start winning fights. That's the only thing that's going to help you. That's it. You can't, some of these fighters sometimes think that vacationing or soul searching is going to. No, you can have a bad night. You had a bad night. You had a bad performance. You don't need soul searching. You know the truth of what happened. Fix it. Fix it and get back in the gym and come back stronger than ever. That's it. So that's the Subriel's career is in Subriel's hands. And I'm anxious to see what he does from here. He was supposed to fight Regis Progress, and now Regis Progress is scheduled to fight Jack Catterall. So you could see that sometimes these promotional companies have a tendency of putting the cart before the horse. And then and some of Cajuns, as of late, they've done these things. Where Dante Wilder was scheduled to fight Anthony Joshua once again. He didn't win the fight. That fight never materialized. You know, Subriel, was supposed to fight Regis Progress after this fight. Now, Regis Progress is fighting someone else. And these were deals that were being talked out through handshakes. Yeah, you definitely got this fight, and the other guy didn't do his part, and the fight never materializes. So sometimes promotional companies have a tendency of doing these things, and look what happens. You know. So, what's up, Koki? How you guys doing out there? What's up, chat? Well, Garcia Matias, listen. Garcia can't make 140 pounds. He can't make the weight. He hasn't made the weight in the last two fights, and being suspended. when Ryan Garcia comes back from boxing, if you're talking about that one or the other Garcia, right? Um, uh, but if you're talking about Ryan, when he comes back, he's got to go to 154, 147, probably. Ryan's gonna have to. He's gonna come back to a much bigger weight division. He couldn't make 140 no more anyway. So I don't think that's gonna happen. If you were talking about that Garcia, but if you're talking about the other one, let me know. Yeah, because Matias lost, so he gifted it to Catterall. That's how boxing goes. Business continues. Matias, I guess, said that he was gonna take some time off. I don't know that he wouldn't be ready for the Regis Progress initial date. I don't know. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't there. I'm just taking a shot at the dark of possibly something that might have, I think maybe Subriel after the loss. That's what rationally, that's what I'm thinking. He's like, felt like he needed to take just a little bit of time off, regroup himself, and then come back to the sport. So that's what I believe. Yeah, but you guys got to remember that. Yeah, that was amazing. 17-year-old kid, huh? Fucking amazing, huh? You got to remember though, Russell ain't gonna gamble with his positioning right now. It was already announced that he's gonna fight the winner. You see, so when the WBC did that for a reason. One, to show Devin Haney boxing goes on without you. It'll be just fine. We don't need you on that type shit, right? So now that Russell has gotten the notification, obviously the world was notified. Russell ain't gonna give up his positioning, but it doesn't mean they won't schedule a fight for him on the same card. You know, um, do they have to just give him an easy walkthrough after coming off of a loss, and you're just granted the winner? Are they gonna really make it that easy for him? I don't think. I don't know. So I think they're gonna put somebody to fight him. Or is it really gonna go down like that? Is he really just gonna wait for the winner out of them two and then just hop in the ring with the winner and automatically get a title fight? That'll be crazy. Coming off of a loss and the guy that beat you is fighting in the title fight. So actually the guy that beat you got upgraded to being the champion. In fact, Sandor Martin is actually the challenger. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this shit is crazy, bro. Salute, chat. What's up, guys? Carlos, what's up? Yeah. Listen, listen, I gotta tell you guys, I don't know what's going on between Subriel Matias, Matcham, Ed Hearns, whether or not Subriel Matias took that personal and Ed Hearns' reactions or statements, or, this is the fight business, and as a promoter, you gotta move on with whoever's champion and out with the old, in with the new. It's not personal. It's not a personal thing. It's just a business thing. But you got to admit, that the way everything played out, you know, you know, uh, it just, there's I can break down a few situations that I feel like they played Subriel Matias, but I don't want to, project that. I wasn't there. I don't know these things to be definitive, and they would only be my opinions. So, therefore, I'm going to just stay out of it. I'm going to choose for Subriel Matias to rely on his performances. I'm going to choose to let his fists do the talking. And I'm going to leave it at that. As a fan of Sublier Matias, I'm going to allow my fighter to come back. I know they're going to say a lot about him. There's going to be a lot of hate and there's going to be a lot of noise. Unfortunately, this is the career that he chose, and this comes with it. There's ups and there's downs. What are you made of? Are you going to let the critics beat you, or are you going to let the man in the ring beat you? Why did you get into fighting in the first place? What people's opinions and their views should not move such a fighter as Gabriel Matias. So Gabriel Matias is a warrior. And at the end of the day, he's in the hurt business. And he does a lot of hurting. And there's good nights and there's bad nights in the office. Subriel Matias is a force to be reckoned with. You do not get the name the boogeyman in the weight division. You still are the boogeyman in this 140-pound weight division. And after this loss, he is soon going to remind the world who he truly is. If you think or you think you can count out Subriel Matias, I'm here to tell you, I want to see that. And I would like to see who his next opponent is going to be. Because I pray for that guy. Because you're going to need it going up against the boogeyman of the 140-pound weight division, Subriel Matias. Time will tell. Trust me. Bam Bam's hurt. He ain't letting it go. You know what I mean? I think the Subriel Matias fight might have hurt Bam Bam the most. You know, he's so much into denial that he's even clinging on to the fact that he should be awarded the Notre Dame Round One Sports Talk prestigious award. But we all know that Armando foreseen this because he is formerly known as Notre Dame. Of guys that can call fights like that probably saw this coming. You know what I mean? Hey yo, but Bam is hurt by the Subriel loss. Yo, Bam, I'm here to, give you comfort, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a real one. And I'm very, very confident in Subriel Matias. I wouldn't speak like this if I wasn't confident enough. I've seen men like him. I know men like him. And I'm smart enough not to hold them on one performance. Fighters have bad nights, brother, and that's what it was. It was a bad night. And he said, "I ain't never been the same, bro." Yo, hey, yo, Bam Bam was hurt. He was hurt. Listen, and so wasn't motherfucking 10,000 Puerto Ricans in attendance. We was hurt. A little mad, a little shocked. It's not like we saw him get knocked out or anything. That would have been crazy, you know. Um, if had he got knocked out or some shit, it was a close fight, man. It could have went either way, but there's work to do now. There's no need to cry over spilled milk. There's no need to revisit the past. What's done is done. There's only now it's time to look forward. Dust yourself off, get the hell up, and go forward. Let's see if any of these other chances make the mistake of challenging Subriel Matias. Let's hope like Tio just gets crazy and goes, if fucking Liam Paro could do it, I can do it type shit. I'll fight Subriel next. Man, I would love some shit like that. Let some one of these guys. Maybe Liam Paro doesn't see any other money opportunities. Devin has fall. Esau Pitbull Cruz got a fight coming up. Teal just got out of his fight. Maybe the rematch with Subriel would be the best option. Maybe Ed Hearn goes back to him and goes, "Yo, tell you the truth, if you beat Subriel again in Australia and you give him the rematch, yo, that's gonna rake in a lot of money." And maybe Team Lee and Paro's team says, "Yeah, that is the best fight," and they run it back. We don't know. We don't know what Ed Hearn's doing. I know what it looks like. All this other shit. We really don't know yet. Let's just let a little time go on. I haven't personally called Panda or got out to any of Subriet's team or anything like that. I figure I'd give him some time, and then try to reach out to him. Maybe hopefully keep my fingers crossed. I can get him on the show, maybe Panda, his coach, and we can talk and give him a platform to share and get some things off their chest, and maybe some future plans. And maybe they can let us know and give us a little bit of insight so that we know where our guy is headed and that he's okay and that they're looking forward strongly going after that belt again, and it would really give the fans that that confidence that we need that he's going to be champion again. So let me work on that. Let me work on a couple of things. I'm still trying to work on. I'm getting down there to Drawn Boots Ennis, and I got to start going out this week right here. So I got a lot in front of me, but I do this for the love of the sport. And every day I get up, this ain't work. You know what I'm saying? This is my passion. So listen, fight fans, you guys have been amazing. Love you guys. Chat. I know I went on late tonight and we up late. This is a late one, but this teal thing, man, this shit was crazy, man. And these are some of the things that these fighters find in situations find themselves in. And it's usually not due in part to their fighting so much nowadays, but by what they're saying out of their mouth. And now he has to live up to the expectations that he, in fact, put on himself coming up in boxing. So, fight fans, listen, chat. I love you guys. Ben, what you got to say? You're going to the. I'm trying to put all this together. Let me figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Support the brand. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? Hit that super chat for me, man. This shit ain't cheap, bro. So come on, guys. Support the brand. Um, everything helps to get me out to these fights, to get these interviews, and like I said, I'm on to the next one after this one here on Round One Sports Talk, and that's that Cash App right there, just in case. Please, fight fans, you guys have been the best.